I was born in Qatar, and the family came here February 18th of 95, and my parents originally being from Pakistan. I think at home I was told like, oh, like we're going to Australia, and then we was told that we're going to have to sign out of school. So that I remember like running around and telling my friends that I'm leaving and I'm going to Australia, and like I didn't know anything about it. All I knew is that I'm going somewhere, and I had no clue what it is or what it's about, and ran around like told all the teachers, and they were all like very excited, like, oh, like this guy's leaving and stuff. And yeah, I remember that they were like, we wrote like autographs and stuff, like as memories and stuff. Yeah, I kept most of that stuff. Actually, I do remember talking to my older brother about it, and it wasn't anything like deep conversation or anything like that, because he was we were too young to even know anything. So yeah, I did see like a video clip on like Encyclopedia Britannica or something, I remember, and all we saw was like the Australian wildlife. I saw a kangaroo jumping around the place, and yeah. Oh, and the only other thing I would have known was from the books. I knew of Australia, I just didn't think it as like a country and then I'm going somewhere, because just too young to think anything different. I remember the stuff I packed personally was probably like my toys, just my things, and my books. I remember packing all my books like from school. Yeah, I remember I ran around the school, and I had like this little recorder that I took from my dad without his knowledge. Like he didn't know about it. Like I took it and was running around school. Like I knew I was leaving, so I just like make like fake interviews kind of things. I think I've kept it just because like it's memories. It reminds you something like of like this was where, like this was what I left behind kind of thing. Friends, and yeah, I think mostly it was just friends. Yeah, I think it would have been completely different, like if I would have stayed there and grew up there, as opposed to growing up here. Well, different as in like the stuff that we weren't exposed to when we were living in Qatar. Like, I mean, even the English that like we used to speak at school, it was all learned from books. Like it was English. It's like, it was all written. It wasn't like experienced. Like we didn't speak it, so we didn't know any slang English or anything. So, like coming here, the first thing I noticed was, I'm gonna have to learn like how to speak, like, normally, not speak from books. It's like, shall we go to dinner? It's like, yeah, it's like I'm hungry, I want to eat, kind of thing. I remember the day we landed, and I asked my mum, I'm like, where are we? And she goes, we're in Sydney, and that's all I remember, like Sydney. And I was like, Sydney, I've read it in a book somewhere, but I can't recall it. And then I was like, okay, so I didn't even know what Sydney is, or like, what is it? Like, is it a state? Is it a city? What is it? Yeah. School was pretty much like a week into it, or I'd say a couple of days into it. Like, I don't think my dad wasted any time in getting us into school. I think I was like the first, different colored kid that they saw, because everyone there was white. I think everyone just wanted to know like who I was, where I'm from, what's my name, like what do I do, and more like about me. So I think like the whole focus of the whole classroom was just on me. Like even the teachers was curious. Initially, yeah, I felt weird, like as in like, I mean, I don't have like horns sticking out of my head or anything. And no, I think the kids being kids, after a while, like, yeah, it was all normal. Like I made friends and everything. I wouldn't say it was a language barrier. It was just like hearing something and then, trying to say the same thing back, but not coming, like, not saying it the wrong way. Like, not trying to make a fool of myself or anything. Like, if they were like, oh, do you want to do this project with me? Like, I know what to tell him, like, in my head, I just wouldn't know how to go about saying so. Like, maybe not, or I just don't want to. It's like, oh, I would give him, like, the formal book English answer. It's like, I think we shall discuss this with the teacher first, or something like that. Yeah, so I'd just go all formal on someone. I'd say I'm from Qatar, And they're like, "Where's that?" And I like telling them that. I go, "It's a little, tiny little peninsula. It's like an island next to Saudi Arabia. It's like a very tiny little country." They're like, "Really? So you weren't born here?" Like, "No, I wasn't born here. My parents are from Pakistan." And they get surprised. They ask me like, "Are you fully Pakistani? Like fully?" If I was to meet just like just anyone, like I'd say I'm from Pakistan, like, and then if I get deeper into it, 2-3 minutes into it, then I'll say I'm from Qatar actually. Like my parents are from there. I really know nothing about Pakistan. Like I know, like the states and stuff like that. I know where my family comes from, like where my mom's family and where my dad's family comes from, like where their heritage and like whatever lies. But like me personally, I have no indication of like where I would go and where I would hang out if I was to go there. I feel like an outsider. From coming from there to here, first thing I noticed was the kids. First of all, like there was no barrier in between the teacher and the kids. Like if they wanted to say something, they would say it. Like which I thought at first was rude, but then I figured, nah, that's right. That's freedom of speech. So there was a lot more freedom. Home, it would definitely be here. I'd made friends. Teachers were cool. I think some of the best time I've had was in primary school, like from year 5 to year 6, and then going through like high school and stuff. By that time, everything was normal. Like to me, I just took it as, this is it. Like this is who I am. So.